What's up, everybody? I'm Damon Hatfield here with Marty VR Sleva. We were just talking about VR. You know, 2016 was the year that VR finally became commercially available. Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and of course PSVR. But it didn't exactly set the world on fire in 2016.
Yeah,
it's
a little bit of a slow start
out the gate.
Yeah.
So as we go into 2017, you're going to be going to CES in Vegas, a big tech show, and that'll sort of set the tone for the tech world in 2017.
Yeah.
So what are you expecting to see from VR at CES?
So that's sort of the big thing is, I went to CES last year, and obviously it was at the beginning of the year, so it was before all three of these major VR players were in stores, and like everything was VR. Like every corner you turn to that show was VR. And so now that they're commercially available, you can go into a Best Buy, you can go to a mall and buy one. I think CES this year is going to be about what's the next step, what's the Vive 2.0 going to look like, and I think the next big paradigm in VR is wireless. How do we, remove the shackles and weird umbilical cords to our PCs and get true wireless VR without latency, which is going to be the big thing. So there's rumors of the Vive 2.0, and you can already pre-order this thing called the Tipcast for $220 that adds sort of like an antenna to the top of your Vive, and according to the videos, it's zero latency wireless VR, which some people are a little bit skeptical of. Some people are worried that there's going to be just enough of a delay to mix things up. So I'm excited to see what third-party companies are coming up with for some of the wireless stuff, because I don't know, like we've all got to play VR, and being tethered is still weird.
It's one of the major drawbacks to it.
Yeah, and the same thing with PSVR, and same thing with Oculus. Obviously, Oculus just released the Oculus Touch, which made it sort of on par with Vive, and so everyone wants to see, well, what's the next Oculus going to look like? What's the next PSVR going to look like? Are these going to go down in price? Are there going to be redesigns? Are there going to be bundles? And a lot of people are expecting in 2017 maybe the Microsoft and Oculus partnership goes even a step further, and when Microsoft announces Scorpio and really reveals Scorpio, maybe that's their foray into VR. Maybe you can use Oculus with that, which would, compete with PSVR. I think also one of the big things is, people have these in their houses, we have these in the office. They need to show us what software we're going to be playing. Like, what games are we going to be playing on these? Yeah. Which Sony sort of, since the launch, hasn't done a great job of. Like, the PlayStation experience didn't really focus a ton on VR. Even their E3 conference didn't focus a ton on VR. So I think one of the big things is going to be, all right, I spent $500 to $1,000 on this thing. Now what?
Yeah, there's cool stuff for it, but what we consider a killer app, we're still looking for.
We're still looking for that Mario 64, we're still looking for that Halo, and maybe that's not this year, maybe that's next year, but I think it's going to be coming eventually. And then there's just, VR is becoming ubiquitous. We're mentioning these three, but there's also Google Daydream, there's all sorts of Windows 10 compatible VR, and these are a lot cheaper. You can get these for $100. And so I have a feeling we're going to see dozens upon dozens of very cheap VR options that just use your phone, and you're going to start seeing people on planes, strapping in a little visor and watching Netflix. Hopefully not anything adult.
Why can't you watch adult?
On a plane?
Yeah, just keep it to yourself.
I don't
No one's gonna know what I'm watching in here.
And then the last big thing, it's not VR, it's AR, Augmented Reality. And obviously one of the biggest things of 2016 was Pokemon Go, which got people, pulling up their phones in public and seeing a little Raichu next to the Golden Gate Bridge. I have a feeling there's going to be dozens, if not hundreds, of imitators, just in terms of like how do we cash in on this AR fad, and whether it's here to stay or whether it's sort of just a flash in the pan. We're gonna have to wait to see. But I expect a lot of companies, maybe even properties like Star Wars or Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon.
Digimon Go? Yeah, Digimon Don't Go. Yeah. So I mean, there's gonna be a ton of stuff in Vegas, and I'm super stoked to see what the future of VR.
CES kicks off when?
It is January 6th.
January 6th.
So soon.
Stay tuned for all of our big CES coverage here at IGN.